What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. In today's video, we're going to give you the end game tier list for this current update slash patch to try to push you guys into Legendary Arena before the season ends. So let me first give you guys a disclaimer. The bottom tier right now, the D tier that we are about to go over, these are the minis you want to avoid playing if you want to really rank up. Unfortunately, these minis just are not very strong in the current meta. We have the Mini P.E.K.K.A, Valkyrie, Spear Goblin, Battle Healer, Bowler, and Electric Wizard. Right now, after the Electric Wizard got nerfed, no longer in the meta, the Valkyrie and the Mini P.E.K.K.A at 3 costs just really don't fit in any decks. The Spear Goblin and the Battle Healer, they really don't do that much. And the Bowler, unfortunately, if you do not choose correctly, you will lose. Now, next up, we have the C tier. What is the C tier? Situational minis. We have the Magical Archer, we have the Ice Wizard, Mega Knight, and the P.E.K.K.A. The P.E.K.K.A works in an Archer Queen deck. The Mega Knight kind of works in a Countess deck, which is pretty good, but it only really works in one deck. The Magic Archer kind of only works in one deck as well, but it's kind of one of those flex picks that just is not that strong because other minis are stronger. And the Ice Wizard as well just doesn't really have its place in the meta right now. With all the 2-cost minis, there just are so many better options. Moving on to the B tier. The B tier, what we have is the Dark Goblin, Knight, Guard, and Musketeer. What does the B tier mean? The B tier means that these are solid minis that will carry you if you play them correctly. Now, the Dark Goblin is very, very strong in the Barbarian King Lumberjack Dark Goblin deck. That is why he is in the B tier right now. It's really the only deck that's very, very good for the Dark Goblin, but it excels massively in that deck. Then you have the Knight and the Guard, which work very well with the Barbarian Flood decks. So if you're using a 2-cost Flood deck, Barbarian deck, these are the 2 minis for you. And then the Musketeer as well. The Musketeer is very, very good with the Archer Queen. It could have been in the C tier, but it just does so well in Archer Queen decks, and you can maybe flex it with a Giant Skeleton in another deck as well, maybe with a Monk. That is why it's going to be in the B tier, but I would still kind of not use the Musketeer unless you're playing with an Archer Queen. Moving on to the A tier, we have the Giant Skeleton, Lumberjack, Battle Healer, and the Miner. Okay, what's up with these minis right here in the A tier? These are minis that you kind of want to have in your deck. The Giant Skeleton is a staple in Archer Queens. It also is pretty good in Countess's decks, and it could do decent in Monk decks as well. You kind of want to avoid playing a Giant Skeleton in a Barbarian King deck, but it does do very good elsewhere. Now, the Lumberjack. Really good in Archer Queen, really good in Barbarian King. Right now, Archer Queen and Barbarian King are the 2 S heroes. Then you kind of have Countess, Monk, and Royal Champion right behind that. Royal Champion is obviously 3rd highest if you are a level 10, but if you're not a level 10, Royal Champion just is not a very great hero right now. So you have Giant Skeleton, Lumberjack, Battle Healer, and Miner in this A tier. The Battle Healer unfortunately gets countered by the Wizard so hard that I cannot put it in the S tier. If they have a Wizard and you have a Battle Healer and they go heal cut, your Battle Healer is kind of useless, and that is very unfortunate. So the A tier is that they do good, and they're in a couple of decks in the current meta right now. The Miner is just a staple. It gets to the back line, and it could cause havoc, especially in lower elos where trying to push to get Legendary Arena. Now, moving on to the S tier. These are the minis that almost need to be in every deck. I wouldn't say every deck, but most decks. Archer, strongest unit is in the game. It's the strongest mini in the game right now. It just does too much. Barbarian as well, super, super strong. And the only thing that really counters a Barbarian is either a Dark Goblin or the next mini on our field right now, which is the Wizard. The Wizard just gets absolute value time in and time out, and it just clears everybody who's trying to run these melee heavy decks that you see so much of in the current meta. It just gets massive value to the front line. It has the heal cut for the battle healer, kind of does everything. Right now, in my opinion, the best mini in the game overall is the Wizard. Dark Goblin is very, very strong as well. I know a lot of people are saying, why do you put him in the B tier? Because this is a tier list to try to get you guys to Legendary Arena. It's not so much a tier list as what are the best minis in the game. You kind of want to stick to the S and the A tiers while you are building a Clash mini deck. And if you do that, if you stick to those 8, you could dip down to the B tier as well. You will have very, very good success getting to Legendary Arena. Now, the Prince is the last unit in the S tier. The reason why is because if you have a mirror tile and you have a Prince and you're able to get out a pony, it just gets you massive value. If you get to their backline, it gets you massive value. If you knock back a big beefy tank, whether it be a Barbarian King, whether it be a Monk, whether it be a Giant Skeleton, whether it be a P.E.K.K.A, Mega Knight, you get massive value and you more than likely will win the match. But beware, if you have a Miner and you have a Prince, you do not want your Prince to go all the way to the back line, because if you put your Prince and it goes all the way to the back line, unfortunately, your Miner is going to meet it as well, and you're not going to get too much value. So you want to make sure that you space your Miner and your Prince pretty much 2 to 3 tiles apart. That way, your Prince can distract the other troops, or if your Prince knocks back a troop, your Miner will not be targeting that mini right off the bat, and your Miner could get to the back line instead of getting to a frontline mini that your Prince just knocked back. But guys, this tier list right here is just to help you guys out to try to boost your ability to win matches and get to Legendary Arena. That is what you need to use this tier list for. S tier and A tier are the minis you want to use in your decks. B as well if you so need to. And if you're going to go to the C tier, P.E.K.K.A, Mega Knight, very, very strong. D tier, just do not use. You're inhibiting yourself, and you will possibly lose more games than you win if you use anything in the D tier. I know a lot of people like Valkyrie 3-star, but it just is not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it. Instead of a Valkyrie 3-star, go with a Dark Goblin 3-star, and you'll see the difference, how hard you carry every single game with the Dark Goblin. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for enjoying the content on the channel. I'm still in Mexico, but I will be back on Monday cranking out more videos. Daily uploads will begin once again on either Tuesday or Wednesday. I will let you guys know. Thank you guys so much for watching this YouTube video. I love each and every single one of you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.